Welcome to the deep dive. We're looking at some pretty detailed stuff today. Governmental financial reporting, specifically GASB 34.
That's right. You've given us the source materials, and our job is basically to pull out what you really need to know.
Exactly. Think of this as your guide to understanding how governments report their finances and, well, how accountable they are.
And accountability is key here. There are really two big flavors of it in these reports.
Okay.
First, there's operational accountability. That's about, how well is the government actually doing its job, using resources efficiently, meeting goals.
Right, like are the services good? Are things running smoothly day to day?
Precisely. And then the second type is fiscal accountability.
And that one's more about the money itself, yeah? Like, did they stick to the budget, follow the rules for spending this year?
Exactly. It's very focused on compliance, usually in the short term.
So GASB 34 tries to bring both of these views together, not just keep them separate.
Yes, that's the core idea, an integrated approach. You need to see both and how they relate.
How do the reports actually do that?
Through the main components. You've got the management's discussion and analysis, the MD&A.
Right, the overview narrative.
Then the government-wide financial statements, the fund financial statements, and importantly, the notes.
Okay, and I saw something about a reconciliation between the fund statements and the government-wide ones. Why is that important for, us?
Yeah, that reconciliation is super important. It's the bridge.
A bridge between what?
Between that short-term, budget-focused view you get in the fund statements and the longer-term, overall financial health and service delivery picture in the government-wide statements.
Gotcha. So it connects the did they follow the budget question with the are they sustainable and effective question.
You got it. It helps you see if today's spending aligns with long-term goals, and it pushes for reporting on the major significant funds individually. Generic summaries just don't cut it.
Makes sense. So digging into the reports themselves, what are the absolute must-have pieces?
Okay, essentials. Beyond the MD&A, you absolutely need the government-wide statements.
Which are?
The statement of net position, think of it like a balance sheet, what's owned, what's owed, and the statement of activities, that's like an income statement showing program revenues and expenses.
Okay, net position and activities. What else?
Then you have the fund financial statements. These break things down.
Into different types of funds.
Right. Governmental funds, they have a balance sheet and a statement tracking revenues, expenditures, and fund balance changes. Proprietary funds, more business-like activities, have their own net position statement, revenue expense statement, and importantly, a cash flow statement.
Okay. And fiduciary.
Fiduciary funds, yeah, where the government holds money for others. They have statements of fiduciary net position and changes in that position.
And don't forget the notes.
Never forget the notes. Crucial details are in there. Plus, often required supplementary information, RSI, on things like pensions, budgets, sometimes infrastructure.
That sounds pretty thorough.
Yeah.
Now, the ACFR Annual Comprehensive Financial Report came up. How does that relate? Is it the same thing?
Good question. No, it's a bit different. The ACFR is kind of an enhanced report. It follows guidelines from the GFOA, the Government Finance Officers Association.
So it includes all the basic stuff we just talked about?
Yes. It includes the basic financial statements and RSI required by GAAP, which are audited, but it adds more like an introductory section and a statistical section.
And those extra parts aren't audited?
Usually not, no. So the ACFR goes beyond the minimum requirements. It's more comprehensive, hence the name.
Okay, the deluxe package. Got it. Now let's talk about who is included in these reports. What makes up the financial reporting entity?
Right. This is about figuring out the boundaries. It starts with the primary government.
The main entity, like the city or the state itself.
Exactly. And there's a test, sort of a mnemonic self.
Self.
Yeah. Does it have a separately elected governing body? Is it legally separate? And is it fiscally independent?
Self-test. Makes sense. States, counties, cities, towns. They usually pass that.
Typically, yes. Even some special purpose governments, like certain school districts or hospital authorities, might qualify if they meet the self criteria.
Okay, so that's the primary government. What about these component units?
Component units are other legally separate organizations where the primary government has financial accountability. Think entities connected to the main government.
And how are they shown in the reports?
Two main ways. Blended or discrete.
Blended, like mixed in.
Pretty much. Blended is used when the component unit is so intertwined with the primary government that they're almost the same entity. Maybe they have the same board, or the unit exists only to serve the primary government. Their financials get merged.
Okay. And discrete.
Discrete presentation is much more common. The component unit's financial info is shown in separate columns next to the primary government's data. This happens when they don't meet those strict blending criteria.
So you see them, but separately.
Exactly. Keeps things clear, but shows the connection.
Now, one interesting point was about not-for-profits being component units. How does that work?
Yeah, that shows the reach of financial accountability. A legally separate nonprofit, like a university foundation, might need to be reported by the primary government, usually discreetly.
Under what conditions?
3 main things need to be true. 1, the resources the nonprofit holds are almost exclusively for the direct benefit of the primary government.
Okay, benefit.
2, the primary government can actually access a majority of those resources.
Access.
And 3, those resources are significant to the primary government. Benefit, access, significance. If a state university foundation meets those, even with its own board, it gets reported discreetly by the university.
Benefit, access, significance. Got it. Okay, so let's recap quickly. GASB 34 reporting has this dual focus: operational efficiency and fiscal compliance.
Right. Long-term effectiveness and short-term budget adherence.
And the reports, from the basic statements up to the ACFR, are structured to show both, using things like that key reconciliation.
Yep, connecting the dots.
Plus, we've got a handle on the reporting entity, the primary government, self-test, and how component units, even some nonprofits, are presented either blended or, more often, discreetly.
It's all about providing a clear picture for transparency.
Absolutely. So, wrapping up, considering all this structure and complexity, what's a key challenge for you, the listener, to think about?
Well, I think the big question is, with all these detailed rules and reports, how effective are we really at making this information truly accessible and understandable for the average citizen? Is it clear enough for you to really gauge how your government is doing? That's something worth pondering.